So hello and welcome to the channel. In this video we're going to start talking about the scanner class, and we'll discuss the scanner class and how to gather input from the user in our little command console that we have down here, or that output window. It's very simple to do. In previous videos we were talking about data types and variables and how to store data that we've put in ourselves, like we've added it or we made a variable and assigned it a value. Well, usually you're going to get values from a user. You're not going to typically put them in like that. It wouldn't really be a very interactive or very, very decent program, unless you're making like a, one just for informational purposes, or you're displaying a whack load of information. The program's not really fun to play with, right? So let's start grabbing some inputs from the scanner class and show you how that works. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do is we're going to look up here. We're going to import. We'll type in import, and we'll start typing Java. Put a period, and you'll see in here we have these packages, or like libraries, that are available to us that Java is pre-written for us, right? We showed you a couple of those before, and inside here we have these little objects that are available in each of this. So it's inside this utility file, we have these objects which are available for us to use, which here is a scanner. All right, so we'll type scanner. Now this here will import and actually bring into your file the scanner object or scanner class that we can use to start taking inputs from the user. Now, in our previous videos, we've used a system.out.print line. And that's just a simple typical system out. That's usually to print something off or put it to the console to show text to the console or send something out. It's an output. And now to get inputs, what we're going to need to do is we'll actually have to create this scanner. In order to do that, we'll just type scanner. And there's a lot going into this here, so I don't want you to kind of overload yourself. So we'll just kind of get through it, know how it works, and know how to initialize and use it. Later in videos later on, you'll kind of understand what a class is and different terminology we're going to use today, but for now that's fine. So the first thing we do, we type in scanner, and then we got to give it a name. So in this instance, we're just going to call it input. I'll make it equal to. Now, in order to create a new object or to create a scanner, you have to say new scanner. It's kind of weird, but it's just how Java works. It's kind of what you need to do. And inside here, we're going to have to kind of tell the scanner that we're looking to get system.in, so system inputs. And that's kind of the keyword to, verify system inputs. This one's for system outputs, and we can print to the screen. And in this case, we're taking system inputs from the console, and we're going to store them inside, or we're going to typically take them and use them. We're going to use this variable or this scanner, because we just named the scanner input. Again, you don't have to, you can name it whatever you wish, like user inputs. That's fine, as long as you know that this is referring to the scanner object and that you're using this to grab your inputs. And I'll kind of show you what we mean by this right now. I don't want to overload you with information at this moment or scare you away from it, but in order to get inputs from the console, this is how you initialize and start it, and you need this import to actually add the scanner to our file. So now we'll come down here and we'll just say, well, we have this, we'll go system print line, and now this is kind of unideal for us at this point. We have another one available to us, print. What this does, we'll print out this line that we put here. So we'll just say, what is your age? And now it'll print that line, but it will stay on that same line. So when we're looking for an input, it'll kind of just sit here like that. You'll get a cursor with one space. I'll just sit there waiting for the input. Now if we put print line, it would actually kick the cursor down underneath it. So when we see it, it would look something like that. It's not wrong, it just doesn't really look proper in the flow of the program. So we'll just say print We'll go with that. So now, with our age, we're talking about the data types that we were using. Now the age is definitely going to be within range of, positive 127. So we can then verify that it will be a byte. We'll just call that the byte user age. And I will make this equal to the user underscore input. And now, in order to access different methods or different functionalities inside of the scanner object here, if we do the dot after user input, I kind of went off the line, so we'll go dot. Oh, it's inputs, sorry. User inputs. Well, here, let's just verify that it's user input. Right, so it makes it easier. And we put the dot, and now we have these what are called methods that are available inside of this object. Now don't get too worried about objects and methods yet. We'll talk more about that, but for now, since we've declared a byte value or variable data type, we're going to get the next byte that comes in off the keyboard, or it's going to listen, or it's going to look for the next byte. That's just a number. They would not be able to put in characters or in, letters, because it will definitely throw out an error at them. So now that we got the age, we'll just move on. We'll move down to, what is your weight, we'll just say. I'm only picking these values just because I want to outline the different value or variables that we can then store values in. So we'll change this down here to user weight. We'll spell it right. And then we'll go right here. Now, someone's weight might actually be over, positive 127. They could be 150 pounds. So for this instance, the byte wouldn't actually work. What we do have available to us is the next, which is the short, and that's up to 32,767, right? So, I mean, if somebody's 32,000 pounds, that's going to be pretty crazy. So we'll just type it in here for pounds, just to kind of tell the user to put it in pounds. If you just said weight, they could give it to you in kilograms, but that's fine. That's not really a big deal. Now we have a short here. You might notice that it doesn't actually give us an error here. We can actually technically store the byte in a short because the value is going to be within range to fit here. That's not ideal what we want. We want to actually get the short value, and we can just type it here. Short typically just follows suit with what's going on here, and if you're not sure, we can just go back here and we'll type the dot. And this is what's good about the IDE. It kind of brings up these little things to hint at what you have available to you. So here, like I said, this little line here is kind of your suggestions. Down here is just everything available inside of that scanner now. So here we have the next short. Like I said, the byte will fit, but we want the short, and so we'll end that. And now we'll just copy this line, come down here, we'll type in, what is your annual income? And that's just going to be a number that, the short's up to 32,000. A lot of people make, 32,000 and under, so we could quite possibly use a short, but they're, you could be making over 100,000, so the short technically wouldn't work for us at this point. So what we'll do here now is we'll just take this, and we'll call it the next one, the int. And that, is up to 2,147,000,000 and blah, 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 blah. So that, someone's not going to really be making 2 billion a year. It's not really typical that they do. I mean, there's probably some people that get close, but it's not a very typical thing. I would love to, probably yourself as well. So we'll just type in here user income. And now here we got the short. And again, we can actually store a short here because it will fit within the range of the integer, but it's not ideal as to which we want. So again, we can type int. If you don't feel comfortable with that, you can do that again. So here we go. We'll move down here, and we'll just type in, we'll just copy this and paste it in. You can type it all out if you wish. I just find it easier and copy paste, and you can move really quickly, right? So now what is your dream income? Now that's where people might get over the 2 billion. I mean, maybe not, but some dreamers out there are You know, they want to make crazy money, so everybody seems to want to make crazy money, right? So now it might get over 2 billion, and we might have to add that in here as a long. So now we'll go in here and we'll say user dream. We can just keep on going with it and say dream income, so we know what the variable is, so we know what this value is. Yeah, if it works for you, you don't have to go that far. You can say dream, just as long as you know what this refers to. So here we again can put an integer in a long, but we're looking to get and gather an actual long. So now we can get the next long. I do want to show you that there is actually, you know, decimal values that we can grab as well. And we'll say here, what is your dream income? Well, let's say, what is your hourly wage? And that's just, you know, a normal decimal point value when you're asking somebody. And we'll just make this a double. You can use a float. It's not really a big deal. We'll give us a float. We can get the next float that comes out. It will be a decimal point or a floating point value. But in this case, we're just going to use double. I like using double. It's more precise when dealing with the floating point values. So we'll just go with that. And we'll just type here next double. And again, if that's not really clear to you and you don't know that these are available, with the IDE at hand, you can, you know, put the dot. You can see it will take all these other values, because you can technically store an integer, a long, a short, a byte. They can all be stored inside of the double, but the double being that we want a decimal point, we're going to have to assign it to that. So we say next double. Now, as you can see, the program flows from top to bottom. It starts here, it comes through, it does this, it initializes our scanner. We then come into here, we print out this little message, we look for users input, we then go to the next message printout, we then look for the next input, and you can see the flow keeps going in that pattern. So once we've gathered all of our user input, now it's time to do something with that input. And in this case here, we're just going to be printing it out. And we're going to print line, because what this does is prints out our line, similar to this, but it actually then drops to down one line. There's a couple ways we can do this, and I'll show you. We'll go print. We'll get into this further, but we'll just say your age. We'll just type out lowercase age is, and we'll concatenate our user underscore age variable there. And now you can see that we're printing it. We're going to stay on the same line. Now if I was to type this next one and just go here, your weight is our next value that we're looking to store. Your weight is user's weight. What's going to happen is going to actually crunch these together. So you're going to see your age is, and then we're going to have this little space with an age, and then directly beside the age we're going to have your weight is. It's going to be all crammed together, so you could, you know, put the space there and kind of make it all on one, you know, horizontal line, but it's really not ideal. There is these little escape characters. This would actually signify a new line. Before it would print out, it would print this new line, so it would drop down one line and then print all this stuff out. But it's also built right into this function as well. So if we just type print line, it's doing essentially the same thing. We'll just copy this, move down to here, do a couple of them. We know we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and our next one is annual income. Oh. Your annual income is, and we'll say user income. That's that variable there, or variable, sorry. Now your dream income is, and then we can come down here to user. We'll change this one to user dream. If you see, you notice if I double click, it shows you up here what it's referring to. It's kind of nice, you know. If you double click the age, kind of shows you where we're at with the age, and we're And all throughout your program it would highlight it, so if you're ever looking to find that value, you can. Now we got the dream done, and now we got the user wage to worry about. Your hourly wage is, and there we go. So now again, we step through the program, get the scanner, get this message, we send a message to the user, get their input, message, input, all the way down, and then we print out all of our data that we've gathered from our user. So to run this and see what happens. Just take a minute here. Now we're up here. So if we look in our output, we say, what is your age? Click here. It's asking us for our age and waiting for a value. If you type anything like this, you know, it's gonna throw an error and it's not actually gonna work. There's ways around that in validating input, but for now just stay within range and we'll say 25. Hit enter. What is your weight? You know, we'll say 185. Come here. What is your annual income? You know, I got 80 or 98,000. What's your dream income? We'll go something crazy there. What's your hourly wage? You know, I make 25.36 an hour. You know, it's good to know that you don't need to put in, you know, dollar signs. It won't work. You can't, you know, you're not going to actually do it that way. You're only looking for number values. So when we were talking up here about, you know, the long, you wouldn't be able to put in any kind of like dollar sign up here. You can't put in any kind of dollar sign up here. You wouldn't put in, you know, LBS or pounds or nothing. That's kind of left up to here. And if you wanted to signify that, you could add, you know, the dollar sign just to kind of show the user what you're looking to get. But you don't need to actually do, because it will throw an error. So now if we hit enter, come down here and we can print it all out. Your age, weight, your annual income, your dream income, you know, your hourly wage, and that's everything that we gathered and we put in. It's all technically correct, and we stored and used our variables. So that's kind of what you're going to see when you're looking at building an application, gathering users' data and input, and then outputting it or doing, you know, something with it. In future, we'll actually create applications that are useful to us, and, you know, we'll kind of try to make stuff that is fun and handy to use, or handy for us to use in future. So that's it for this video. I thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, or you need a little hand or not understanding, just put it in the comment section below. We'll hopefully be able to help you. If you just like to subscribe and check out the rest of the channel, that'd be great. And we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.